What's up, guys? So I wanted to make a video about hate. I posted my art, my graffiti art. I wouldn't even consider it graffiti art. It's just when I'm bored, I like to buy spray paint and spray on a canvas and see where it goes. A creative outlet. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to post one of these canvases on Facebook Marketplace and maybe someone will give me some money for it. Because you never know. Nowadays, people spend some crazy money on some crazy stuff. So I thought to myself, hey, maybe I can make a quick buck off of my art. All of a sudden, this man reaches out to me, extremely angry. Opening statement is an insult, criticism, basically saying, how dare I have the courage to post something like this? So he full on attacks me on Facebook. I know that social media is hateful, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I get it. That's where the haters are. But Facebook Marketplace was something new for me. And I noticed on his profile, very passionate man, very political, very has his opinion, screw the billionaires, screw Trump and save Ukraine and whatever other statements he had on his Instagram. And now, the thing is, in the Bible, it says in Matthew 7:17, a good tree has good fruit, and a bad tree has bad fruit. So now this man, just observing him and his anger towards me, a random dude on the internet posting a painting, this man has so much anger towards these billionaires or the elites who do evil in the world that he considers them bad trees and they produce bad fruit. So in his mind, he probably wants to cut them down. Now the question is, I understand that. But why are you attacking your community? Why are you attacking painters? Why are you attacking other people? In a sense, wouldn't that make you a bad tree as well? And that's where hate and wrath become very dangerous. We always, most of the time, probably all the time, we always think we're right. And other people are wrong. And if we could change them and prove them otherwise, or if I could be king, the world would be saved. Now the question is, if this man was my king, what makes him think that he'd be better than all the people he's criticizing right now? He's already pulling down all these people he disagrees with, and now he's pulling down random strangers in his community. That's the thing about us Christians, is we're supposed to absorb this hate. Jesus says in Matthew 5:9, be a peacemaker. That's how Jesus can tell who his followers or his children are. We need to absorb this hate. Even if we disagree with people, even if they're hateful towards us, they're throwing fire at us. They want to burn us. They want to hurt us. So if we take fire or the sword into our own hand, at the end you just have a burnt down town. People dead, bloodshed, chaos. Doesn't matter who is right or wrong. Everyone is dead. Everyone is hurt. So, which also brings me to turn the other cheek. I was watching this Christian YouTuber talk about turning the other cheek, and I agree. Most Christians, I think they try to justify it and think that it is a way to show peace, or they have these crazy examples like, if someone raped my wife or murdered my child, would I then be able to turn another cheek? The thing is, this is how I see it. Jesus can be quite radical, extreme, and also use metaphors, right? He talks in parables. So we know the famous parable, if your eye or your hand makes you sin, rip out your eye, cut off your hand, right? He doesn't actually mean rip out your eyes, rip off your arm. He's just trying to make an extreme example of something. When he says turn the other cheek, in my opinion, a cheek is something quite minuscule. It's not like if he rapes your wife, let him rape her again. If he murders your kid, give him your other kid. He's talking about your cheek. Your cheek isn't too much. It doesn't harm you too much. Or he says, if they take your coat, give him your pants or something as well. These are small things. These are small things, right? And that's what Jesus means. If people try to manipulate, negotiate, betray you, or blackmail or steal from you, like these minuscule things, save yourself the trouble. Just let them have it. Take the $20 or take the $100. Just get away from me. You stole my toy. I don't care. Keep it. I don't want to see you again. I'm not wasting my time, my patience with you. Take it. Take my coat. Tear. Hit my other cheek. You're upset. Go slap this one, right? Go ahead. But when we're talking about these big things, like murder, rape, like stealing extremely valuable things, I don't think Jesus means just sacrifice your life for that. In a sense, that's almost like suicide. Not willingly protecting what God has given you, this temple. Jesus protects his temple. He goes in there, causes chaos, flips the tables around, gets the people out of his temple. He's not like, take the temple, take my other one too, take everything I have, here's my cheek, here's another. Like he's putting his foot down with certain things. A temple is something worthy. This is something he values. It's big. You can't turn the cheek there. You can't turn the cheek on big things, because then you're also not a believer, you're a faker. You have to, in a sense, defend things. And there's also a part in the Bible where does he sends a couple of his disciples somewhere, and he said, sell your coat and buy a sword, right? Why would you ever need a sword? A sword isn't really used for food prep, so he's not telling them go get a sword so you can prep a meal. You can't really build much with a sword. An axe or a knife is way more practical. A sword is a weapon designed for self-defense, harming, and murder. So why is Jesus telling them sell your coat and buy a murder weapon? Because Jesus, he wants some self-defense. It's not his main message. He wants unity and love and peace, and let the minuscule stuff go and be a peacemaker, and don't spread the word of God with wrath. But he still wants you to exist and value your life. So when people are like, turn the other cheek, sure, about minuscule things, or things, where we're like, okay, I'll let that go, whatever. Take it. I don't need it. But when it comes to things like your temple, your family, your community, you can't just give that to Satan. Like, take it, Satan. You can't do that. God wouldn't want you to do that. But yeah, back to the main topic of the guy criticizing me. And I messaged him. I said, are you always this angry towards strangers? And then in a sense, he backpedaled and said, it's not anger, it's advice. And then he wrote P.S. because it was a Christian canvas I painted. He said, P.S. Jesus isn't real. It's just myths and stories. So then I said to him, seems like you're passionate, but wouldn't it be better to not use such hard words in an opening statement towards someone who's in the same community as you? And in a sense, he probably hates Jesus, probably hates Christianity, so he wanted to kind of tell me that it's fake. And then I said to him, fake or not, real, fake, fiction, fact, or truth, Why can't somebody draw that? If I drew a unicorn, nobody would say anything. If I made Harry Potter art, nobody would say anything. So I think Jesus was kind of the trigger word for him, and then he took that wrath and just threw it at me. But he's a great example of what we Christians do as well. We throw that wrath towards non-believers, atheists, people who doubt us, and that's what we can't do. We have to absorb the hate, absorb the fire, turn the other cheek, be peacemakers, and that's how Jesus will recognize his sheep. So that's that today.